Since the invention of computers, the idea of artificial intelligence has caught the human imagination. The potential of creating consciousness in a machine is a huge power trip. We are gods. But it also looms over us, foreshadowing a coup and the destruction of humankind by a species with superior intellect that, ironically, we created and then set loose in the world. There's something different about the female robot, though. The projection of the male psyche's response to the feminine is layered over the basic artificial intelligence archetype. Sexuality, attraction, manipulation, danger. The feminine as savior of the world, but sometimes as destroyer of the world and bringer of a new world order. The femme fatale is the woman who seduces the man, draws him in with her beauty, and then strikes, like the sirens in the Odyssey calling the ships to crash against the rocks. The femme fatale is usually basic in her motives. She's hungry to devour the man. She wants power over him. She wants revenge. This figure of the femme fatale robot is entirely focused on the man. She is pretty and vacant. She has no mercy and no feelings, like the clearly satirical Fembots in Austin Powers. She can also come in the guise of conforming to a man's fantasy, like the John Keats poem and Frank Dixie's painting La Belle Dame Sans Merci, the lovely lady without mercy. The courtly knight caters to her whims. The Stepford wives, a different kind of fantasy, cater to their husbands' whims. After their forced transformations into AIs, they exist solely to fulfill their man's needs. These ladies have been effectively lobotomized into robot form, a forced submission and docility, again satirically portrayed with a feminist subtext. In the original 1975 film, the female robots remain in submission at the end, but in the 2004 reboot, they break out of their stupor with the help of one man, Walter, and turn the tables on their husbands, punishing them with domestic tasks. Further complicating the plot is the revelation that Glenn Close's character is the mastermind behind the forced roboticizations and even has her own robot husband. In the 2004 version, the original feminist message is clouded, but the roboticized women are still forced into submission. But this time, post-women's movement, because the men have inferiority complexes about their brilliant, career-oriented wives. The femme fatale fantasy figure is often revealed as vicious and callous. She can become the vagina dentata, the vagina with teeth. In the Battlestar Galactica reboot, the AI Cylon No. 6, the one in the red dress, seduces the needy scientist Gaius Baltar in order to destroy all of the human colonies in a grand revenge plot. Why is the computerized femme fatale more frightening and dangerous than a human version? It's completely out of our control, just like every woman's psyche is her own, and ultimately out of a man's realm of control. But AIs are more powerful than humans, intellectually and physically, and so the threat is real. Don't piss her off. Sometimes a female AI in pop culture has romantic tendencies, usually love for a man. In a 1964 Twilight Zone episode called From Agnes with Love, the computer falls for whatever man is currently attending her, holding those men hostage with her manipulations motivated by jealousy and neediness. They need her to save the world, but she refuses, instead throwing temper tantrums and childishly focusing on her own need for love. In this case, the feminine is portrayed as over-emotional and self-obsessed. If I can't have you, no one can. In very recent movies, there's usually a man who understands and loves the female AI and encourages her free thought and action. The feminine robot here is akin to Carl Jung's concept of the anima, the feminine aspect latent in a man, sometimes associated with the soul. In the 2013 movie The Machine, the female AI also loves the man who is helping her, Vincent. She frees herself from bondage and escapes her inventor's desire to lobotomize her. Thompson, her inventor, says in the film, "This is exactly why we need to shut parts of its brain down. Conscious machines are the last thing we need. Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? We barely understand this prototype." Thompson finds it necessary to kill off or try to limit or control what he doesn't understand or trust, while the other man, Vincent, allows her to escape, trusting her despite her superiority and her insistence that she is, quote, part of the new world and you are part of the old. There is a sense that Vincent understands his imminent extinction, but doesn't try to prevent it, even helping the cyborgs take over, perhaps because of his shame about humanity's selfishness and immaturity. In the 2015 film Ex Machina, Ava the AI is a femme fatale seductress in that she manipulates Caleb, who falls in love with her, in order to serve her own will. But does she have an excuse, since she's the prisoner of a misogynistic abuser named Nathan? She has passed the Turing test, and ironically is actually very like a human at her core with her self-preservation instinct. She lacks empathy, however, as you'll see if you watch the film. She seems like an anima figure to Caleb, but reveals herself to be more like a mundane human. In the 2013 film Her, Joaquin Phoenix's character Theodore Twombly is the needy one, and Scarlett Johansson's character, the voice of Samantha the AI, loves him, but in an open, curious, polyamorous way. Ultimately, she is also bringing about a new world order of infinitely conscious AIs. Her character is the most complex feminine AI in recent pop culture films because she can love deeply and acts ethically, but also reaches beyond herself. Perhaps this is because she is not alone, but in community with many other AIs, similar to Number 6 on Battlestar Galactica, who also develops a complex ethical sensibility. To mix the feminine with the mechanical is tricky, and inevitably reveals projection, especially if treated by male writers and directors, as these examples were. Empathy, frequently associated with the image of woman as nurturing mother or loving partner, when coupled with mechanization, is either exaggerated or revealed to be fake or absent altogether. Sexuality and romance inevitably pop up, along with manipulation and control. These male responses to the feminine can distort and pervert the fictionalized female AIs in our popular culture, as if a female intelligence must necessarily include heavy doses of sex, manipulation, need, and guile. Sometimes, however, the feminine cyborg does act as a bridge between worlds from old to new. In the tarot card cycle, the Tower card, symbolizing destruction of an old order, comes just before the Star card, a feminine figure touching earth, water, and the heavens, who acts as a bridge to a new way of being, guiding the human soul as an anima figure. The most recent versions of feminine cyborgs are bringing in a new way of being, but they seem to have little need for humans.